Hello, welcome to Hillary's Whiskey Lounge. I'm Hillary and this is my Whiskey Lounge. And today we are going to be tasting Benromach 10. This is something that I've never had before, so this is going to be a co-blind tasting for both of us. So let's get the glasses on. I'm going to read to you a little bit about this Benromach. You know what, before I do that, let's open it up, pour a little out, and put some water in. So we'll let that water sit for a few minutes, see if it makes any Scotch mist. That's a good clue to see whether or not this has been chill filtered or not. So let's open this puppy up. I just bought it today from my local liquor superstore. I think it was about $60, something like that, which is pretty good for single malt Speyside. So let's see. There's this good sound. Oops, wait, let me take the little cap off. Oops. Here's that cork. Oh, yes. I love that sound. All right, let's pour a little in. There we go. Ooh, oops. Okay, got a nice little dram there and some on my chair. That's okay. It's a cleaning agent. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit of water, maybe 4 milliliters. This is only 43%, which is the US minimum alcohol by volume. So we're probably not gonna need much water, but let's just add a little bit, and that way we can see if there's any Scotch mist. Okay, that was probably more than I needed, but nice gentle swirl in the dram. Okay, we're gonna let that sit there for a minute while I read this Benromach bottle. So, exclusively first fill cask matured. What first fill means is that the barrel that the new make spirit goes into, it has only been used once, which is actually the law in most of the US market for bourbon and US whiskey, only allowed to use those barrels once, and so then those are shipped over to Scotland. So first fill means that it is the first time that barrel has been filled with new make, which is the liquid that comes out of the whole distilling process, that nice clear, very oily, very strong alcohol. It's called new make, the totally clear, brand new infant whiskey before it gets put into the casks. So this says that it's exclusively first fill cask matured. It doesn't say what kind of cask. Based on the color, I don't know how much you can see of this, I would say that it's it looks more sherried to me, but it could be bourbon. It's kind of a yellowish. Let's see about the color here. It says on the label natural color, so that's good news. Maybe it's a bourbon barrel, but the label doesn't say. Handmade at the Benromach Distillery, founded in 1898. This is from the Speyside region, where the Glenlivet, Glenfiddich, so many, let's see, Glenallachie, yes, I guess we'll call that Speyside. What else? No, I'm just looking to see what other Speysides I have. Okay, so anyway, Benromach Speyside single malt Scotch whiskey made by hand for genuine character. Our family-owned distillery, blah, 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 blah. Only matured in the finest oak casks. Our signature 10 years old single malt delivers delicate forest fruits and creamy malt. A touch of smoke and rich lasting sherry notes. So maybe I was right. Maybe this is a first fill sherry cask that this has been matured in. Okay, let's see what else. So 750 milliliters, so made for, bottled for the US, and 43% alcohol by volume. Anything else? We make Benromach single malt Scotch whiskey with only a handful of ingredients: malted barley, water, and yeast, plus, of course, the craft and expertise of our people. This is the Benromach way. Okay. It doesn't say anything else on the bottle besides the regular warnings and so forth, that this has been, that it's not chill filtered. So I haven't looked online yet to see if, in fact, it's not chill filtered. But the fact that they've gone to the trouble of putting natural color on the label, but not saying that it's not chill filtered, kind of makes you think it's probably chill filtered. But that's not the end of the world if your whiskey is chill filtered. It has taken out some of the oil, some of the essence. That, of course, makes a whiskey have more flavor and more character. So we'll see. Okay, so that's what the bottle says. And again, let me show these one more time. Benromach Speyside 10-year. It is nice to have an age statement on your whiskey. Not every single bottle that you get will have an age statement. That's called no age statement, or NAS, in the enthusiast lingo. So not every bottle, even if it's an amazing bottle, even if it's an expensive bottle, is going to have an age statement on it. But at least you know with this that the youngest whiskey that's been mixed up into this vat of single malt is 10 years. So if you have some whiskey that's 15 years old, some that's 20 years old, some that's 11 years old, and some that's 10 years old, and you bottle it, you have to say, or the bottler has to say, that it's 10 years. They have to go with the youngest age of whatever they've combined to form this malt. Okay, let's see how we're doing with the color. You know, I know you probably can't see it, but from where I'm sitting, I see a tiny bit of Scotch mist. So, Benromach, are you chill filtered or not? And also, see the legs on that? That shows you that there's a kind of a nice thickness, a nice viscosity. And let me do that again so maybe we can see some legs. Show me your legs, Benromach. It takes a second for the legs to form. Okay, I'm getting thirsty. Let's see these legs. There they come. There they come. Yeah, it's not always the alcohol by volume that creates these legs, and that's what sort of is a myth. This is 43% is not the highest ABV that we can get here, but it is. There you go. Now you can probably see some of the beading and some of the legs there. It's always a good sign. Also about the chill filtering, that maybe it hasn't been chill filtered, that maybe some of the oiliness and viscosity is still there. All right, let's get the nose. I'm gonna take my glasses off. I don't need my glasses off for the nose. Okay. It smells like kind of a caramel. How do you say it? Caramel? Caramel? Almost like a grilled steak. Maybe it's because I had steak for dinner tonight, but I'm smelling grilled steak. And a very, very faint smoky essence, although there's nothing on the label about any peat, but it could be the barrel that they used maybe had some char to it. I really am smelling steak, grilled steak with this. And don't forget to breathe in between nosing your whiskey. You need to take a kind of like having a sip of whiskey, a sip of water between your tastes of whiskey. Get a nice breath of fresh air between between the nosing. I don't know if I'm smelling any fruit, really. Maybe something heavier and darker, like nectarines or peaches or plums. Okay. Okay, enough of that. That's nice. That's actually nice, especially for this simple Speyside 10-year that I've never tried. That really didn't cost very much relative to other whiskeys that you can buy. Like I said, I think it was about $65. Okay, let's go for our first taste. Very smooth. Arrival, development. It's not too sweet at all. It's actually on the drier side. I'm still getting some of that peachiness, maybe plum. I do detect a little of the sherry that was stated on the label. So from this first fill cask that we think is maybe a sherry cask. And the finish was really smooth. Now, yes, this is 43% ABV. I did add some water to this, but still, I think if I hadn't added any water, I still think it would have had a very smooth, non-burning arrival and palate and finish. So I'm actually pretty impressed with this. Really on the dry side. If you don't like your stuff too sweet, we're talking Glendronach, Glenallachie, Bunnahabhain. Those are some real sweet. Edradour, definitely, which I love. I have all these sweet sherries in my shelves here, but sweet sherry matured and finished in my shelves. But this is not very sweet. This is actually really nice. This kind of reminds me of a nice, finer, fancier Glenlivet. So I think that for the bucks that this cost, it's pretty worth it. Really nice, kind of a go-to on the weekend after work, maybe. Nice little Benromach. There's Glendronach and Benromach, and these names that sound so similar. So Benromach. I think that this is a pretty good little whiskey. So yeah, it gets my seal of approval for something I've never tried, and something I never really would have reached for in the store. But I did so today, thinking that I'd do a review of some whiskeys that I've never tried. Reviews for you. So, all right. Next thing I'm going to show you is just the odd little thing from my whiskey lounge. So we'll be right back. Okay, the odd little thing from my whiskey lounge today that I wanted to show you is my little bulletin board of pins from distilleries. So, you know, people collect pins when they go to concerts or when they go to shows, when they go to parades. When you go to a distillery, I'd say most distilleries actually have their own little signature pin that the collectors can get. Sometimes they'll give you a pin complimentary if you go on a tour or something, or in the gift shop, they just have the pins. But I started this little bulletin board to be a cute little place to collect my pins and just other little trinkets and memorabilia that I have. So let's see. This is not from a distillery. This is just, wait, come here. Yeah. All right, my little Scotty pins. I found this online, this little Je suis pris. If you know, you know. And then there is this one, this little dagger, that's also Je suis pris. Je suis prêt. Is that how you say it? How do you say it? Okay. So anyway, and I found this little Luckenbooth pin. Little weed. The flower of Scotland. Little trinkets from Stonehenge, but I really wanted to show you the ones from the distilleries. So here's Glenallachie. I just picked that one up. Here are a couple from Glenfiddich from a couple years ago, 3 years ago when I went. I just visited Talisker. This one's kind of cool. It's sort of like a lion rampant, but its body is of a fish, and it says Talisker. I'm not sure if you can, how much of that you can see. This big old S is for Springbank. So we are going to get into the Springbank stuff later. Let's see. Oh, got a little Glenfarclas. That was from a few years ago when I visited Glenfarclas. This is just simply their name written in the pin. Got a couple. These are from the Scotch Whisky experience in Edinburgh. These are just the glasses. And I forget what they're called. My glasses. Edradour. They don't have Edradour. They don't have tours of Edradour. I actually found this pin on eBay or something. Let's see, Lagavulin. That was from a few years ago. And then these I just picked up. I did just visit the Isle of Arran Distillery. I thought these were so cute, the miniature bottles. And here's Bruichladdich. We did the Bruichladdich video a couple of videos back. And yeah, little Scottish Highland Coup. Just some other fun things. This is an actual thistle being held in place by a thistle pin. So it's just kind of a, oh, I forgot my Lafroig. Just kind of a fun little place for extra little distillery memorabilia, Scotland memorabilia. Oh, and another thing I just picked up is this packet of heather seeds. So next season, or maybe sometime this spring, I'm going to try to plant those and see if I can grow some actual Scottish heather. So so all I did was find this little bulletin board on I think Amazon, and then I found this little cute little scarf, little kerchief thing somewhere on, I think it was eBay. I just wanted a little Scottish background for my bulletin board. And it's just a cute little place for putting little Scottish memorabilia and distillery pins. So that's it. The weird little thing from the Scotch Lounge today. All right. As usual, please like this video and subscribe if you can. Please leave me comments either about the whiskey or about any other ideas that you have, kind of like this, for your Scotch Lounge.